by a comment on one of Rachel's Facebook posts on that when they were in the choir, they used to sit and count the number of crosses that they could count around the church during one of Reverend Pibworth's sermons to stop themselves falling asleep. Obviously that was then, not now. As you look around the church, there are several symbols. It is the most iconic symbol of Christianity, and some of you may be wearing a cross in some form this morning. Now what I'm going to do while I'm talking, I'm going to ask my two little helpers, Nicolette and Adrian, to come here please, willingly. During my talk, I'm going to ask them to move around the church and just count how many symbols of the cross they can see. There are plenty of places to look, all up to the altar, all the way down and at the back. Don't think about it too much, but just have a sort of idea in your head of how many they might find. So if you want to go and start counting, start at the back and work that way if you want, and count how many different crosses you can count and see. Off you go. In the reading we heard from Mark, Jesus says to the crowd of his disciples, "If any want to become my followers, let them deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me." Simple, maybe. Unfortunately, this is not just as simple as wearing a cross and coming to church on a Sunday, although that is part of the point. Jesus was trying to make the point that he had just outlined how he had going to die, what was ahead of him, what was going to happen, what being the Messiah, as Peter had identified him as, actually meant. It wasn't about bringing good times to those people and freeing them from the harsh rule of the Romans. Being the Messiah meant rejection, suffering, and death on a cross. Maybe not the most attractive of job descriptions. Taking up a cross in the time of Jesus meant one thing: preparing to die. I understand that what Jesus was asking of us when he asked us to take up the cross is to be prepared to suffer. That might mean that wearing a cross could alienate friends, family, or colleagues. It could be that we are unfairly judged as a Christian. People have unrealistic expectations of us. In many parts of the world, being a Christian can actually lead to death. Is that something we would be prepared to do? Choosing to follow Jesus can be uncomfortable. Jesus told us to deny ourselves, to put what God wants ahead of what we want, what we think is important, and to put aside those things that will prevent us from doing God's will. And that is the cross we must take up. Although the cross can be a reassuring and cherished symbol of forgiveness, grace and love, it is also a reminder that following Jesus means we may need to make sacrifices and suffer. How are you getting on? 14. 14?
Yeah.
I think we could do much better than that ourselves.
There's a lot more church over this way.
I can see lots all the way along the back there. The cross is a symbol that we have, most of us will have in our homes. We'll have, as I say, something that we might wear in the form of a necklace or an earring. And it symbolises that we are Christian people. Does it symbolise that we are prepared to suffer to follow Jesus? I'm not sure that if that was put on the advertising that many people would actually choose to pick up and buy one, because it's quite a harsh thing to actually have to do. To wear a cross with pride is that you're prepared to die to follow Jesus. But the reward you get for that, for denying yourselves some of the luxuries and maybe giving that money to a good cause, for turning away from some things that might not be appropriate, and for choosing to live a more frugal life maybe. For your reward for doing such things is life in heaven. So to live in heaven, Jesus is saying, you have to follow him and die and suffer, and then you'll get your reward. As I say, It's not an easy thing to do. It's a very difficult thing to do. And all the crosses around the church, and those that we see elsewhere, and when you're out and about during your week, there are plenty of symbols of cross around, mostly around churches, but in other places. So I want you to remember, please, not that it is just a symbol of Christianity, it's everything that goes along with that. What it is being a Christian means. And as I say, there are some people in the world that just wearing the cross in public could result in their death. We are lucky not to live in such an oppressive society, and we can be more free wearing our cross with pride. But next time you put it on, just remember what it is that you're promising with that cross. You're promising to take up that cross, to deny yourselves, and to follow Jesus, to get your eternal reward in heaven, as Jesus has promised. Children, how many have you found? 70 or 17? 17. That's more realistic. And I'm sure if we all counted, we'd all come to a different number. But it is the symbol of what we as Christians are. Is it the symbol of what you're prepared to do to be a Christian? Amen.